I feel like we just sit back and let Adam take over the next one.
Oh, I was actually going to offer you guys to go because I didn't want to be too mean.
Really? Anybody who's been watching this show for any amount of time know that next up is FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati, Adam's favorite team, has done some very interesting business. So let's talk about it a little bit. Last year, they signed CMD on a TAM deal, and we thought it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. He played 850 minutes and got 0 points. So cool. They lost, and they let him go on a free to Heerenveen in the Eredivisie. They let go of Andrew Gutman, who was probably their better outside back, obviously high potential, the one that Chicago messed up. He gave them 1,800 minutes, didn't have a lot of, offensive ability, offensive contribution, but that's because he played for Cincinnati. Third in tackles per game and 6th most clearances and 2nd most cross blocks on the team. Kendall Waston, almost 2,000 minutes, 2 interceptions a game, most clearances, 3 headers a game, and their captain. That's going to be a tough one to replace. Spencer Ritchie, their rotational goalkeeper, went to Seattle. Rashawn Daly didn't really do much. Matthew Deplagne, which he was never my favorite defender, but he gave him 1,300 minutes and was the 3rd most tackles, 6th most interceptions, 5th most clearances. Greg Garza was always hurt, but he gave him 9 appearances in 2020. Then Bobby Edwards, Tommy McAbee, Jim McLaughlin, Ray Ortiz, and RBNY GOAT, Hassan and Dom. Come back, Hassan, I miss you. But I thought they did great business outside of who they lost. Ronald Matarrita has been one of the better attacking fullbacks in MLS the last few years. Not so great on the defensive end, but clearly they don't care about that. They just want to score goals now. Ben Mines from RBNY, high potential, loves FIFA, can probably go between the two. Cody Cropper probably has a potential to take that starting spot. I've always liked Cody Cropper. I just think he's never in the right system to be successful. So put him in front of people taking 900 shots out of a game, maybe he'll get good. Calvin Harris out of the draft, they picked up a DJ, so their games are going to be absolutely bumping. No, he was one of the higher rated attackers out of this draft, so they've added depth there. And then they went out and made the 3rd most expensive signing ever in the league in Brenner from Sao Paulo. This might be the biggest signing of the entire season. This may be the biggest signing this club will ever make in its history. 3rd most expensive signing in the league ever, 11 goals and 3 assists in 2,000 minutes for Sao Paulo. He is going to tear this league up. I don't care who is behind him. I don't care who's next to him. I don't care if he's the only man on the field. He's going to make these defenses look silly. But my question to you, my good friends, and I will start with superfan Adam Tamburello. Did they do enough? Did they do enough this offseason? Granted, it's not done yet, but have they done enough to this point to be happy?
So before I answer that, I agree Brenner's going to be great, but to say he's the best part of this team, you forget Jurgen Locadia is there. So slow your roll.
I said he was the best signing this team will ever make.
Again, Jurgen Locadia is on this team, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop it.
Do I think they did enough to be happy? Yeah, probably. Like, for a team that's won 8 games in 2 years, to make that ridiculous of a signing is incredible. Like, it shows the direction that MLS is going. If Cincinnati and other teams in the league can establish a pipeline for young Brazilian talents to come and play here instead of going directly to Europe, like, all the better. Do I think they're going to finish maybe not last this season? Hopefully. Like,
will they win more than 4 games?
So we're going to do an episode in a few weeks before the season starts on our bold predictions. But I'll give you one now. Cincinnati hits double-digit wins, assuming the season is normal and goes without, like, random COVID postponements.
That's really bold.
I mean, it's not like when you think about it, it's super depressing that the fact that a bold prediction is they're going to hit 10 wins.
Out of 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
Like they're essentially going to double their win total in year 3.
Interesting. Connor, did they do enough to be happy?
Not. I wouldn't say like ecstatic. Maybe I'd say they're a little happy. I think that they can be happier by the time the window's over. Obviously, awesome to sign Brenner for. I think that they took advantage of like a COVID crippled market and were able to get him with less competition to get him. And that's great for not only them but for the league. The more young guys that we can bring in and then pump out to Europe, the more like the idea of MLS kind of as a middleman, grows, and then we can just continue to get more talent from South America and kind of continue this. So I really like that signing for the league as well as for FCC. Yeah, and then I like Cody Cropper as well. I think definitely adds good competition for the goalkeeping spot. And then Matariza is, a very capable defender for them. I mean, this was a pretty bad team. I'm sure Adam can tell you every minute of every day. So I feel like they need to do a little bit more still, but this is definitely in the right direction. So I would say it's fair for them to be happy, but there's still work to do. So not too happy yet.
I like the way you put that. And I also just want to put a caveat. When we grow to be a better middleman league and we get more South American talent, there's one system that doesn't fit South American talent. Never assume the Red Bull will take anybody from South America, because all we want to do is take everybody from New York and New Jersey, and if they got half a bit of talent, send them over to Austria. That's all we need.
You guys do take. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, didn't Kaku come from South America? You guys made a
Where'd he
profit.
go?
You guys made a profit on him, right?
Where'd he go? Is he still in Saudi Arabia? Did he go to Mexico?
He's
Is
still
he even part of our team? I don't know.
Yeah, technically.
Does anybody
he's still
know?
a New York player.
I don't even think Kaku knows.
No.
Kaku played, but we don't know if. I think they made a statement the other day that made it kind of official, like U.S. Soccer and UEFA or whatever the Saudi board is, was like, yeah, their paperwork's good. You lost him on a free. And that would be the biggest front office gaffe I've seen in 10 years. But we'll talk about that when we get down to it. For me, not for me. I don't think they've done enough to be happy this year. I think everybody is so blinded by the fact that they've gotten this big, great striker. They lost 2, maybe 3, if you consider Deplanier a starter. 3 starters from a 5-man back line and have replaced one of them with an outside back who is maybe one of the top 3 worst defenders I've ever watched actually defend. And I've watched Patrick Seegers defend. So there is still so much to do here that if you get blinded by the beauty of the signing that is Brenner, you're going to go and get yourself smacked 4-0 in the first game. Like, oh, look at our big fancy signing. And then, oh, wait, it's 4 minutes into the game. We're down 2 goals because we've got nobody to play center back. This has been one of the worst back lines in the last 2 years. And they got worse. That back line has gotten worse. Anybody who's excited about this transfer window is blind. Stom is going to need to do a hell of a lot to get this team back to where it needs to be. And by that, I mean more than 4 wins. So, grades. Adam, if you give him a C, I'm going to throw you through the computer.
Come on, Adam, give him a C. Just do it.
Can I give him a C for Cincinnati?
I like that.
Or an F for FCC, or D for Dumpster Fire FC. Pick your letter.
Pick one.
No, I'll give him a B. I actually do like the signings they've brought in. I think just looking at the people they've brought in, not necessarily offset by the people they've lost. If you just look at the incoming people, I think for a team that's won 8 games in 2 years, that's a solid bunch of guys that's come in. But yeah, I don't think they're, defense doesn't matter in this league. Brenner's going to score 30 goals and they'll finish in 12th.
Yeah, I had them at a B, and I just dropped them to a C- after realizing that they didn't actually replace anybody. They got really bad. They've got one good striker, maybe two, and then Kuba behind them. So I'm giving them a C- simply because of Brenner. If they didn't sign Brenner up to this point, they're getting an F.
Yeah.
But C- because Brenner signing his class, backline upgrades, non-existent, midfield, Frankie Amaya wants out. He's probably going to hold out, not play. Oh, goodness me. This team is going to be a train wreck next year.
Frankie might come to
Connor?
Miami. I'll take him. I'll take him at Miami.
I said if they were going to go get Pity Martinez from Al Nassr, and I've tweeted this, send Frankie Amaya on his way out the door for the number 1 spot in the allocation ranking and maybe some money. Go sign Pity Martinez and go ham.
Yeah.
Because they're also in talks to get Lucho Costa, which would be a nice signing up top.
Yeah,
again-
that's what I thought they were going to grab.
But again, how does that help you in the back line? It doesn't.
Defense doesn't matter.
He could play center back.
Stop it.
Get him some stilts.
This isn't DC, Connor. Can't put
Yeah.
it.
Benny Ball never dies.
They could bring in Benny Ball.
You can't put Lucho Acosta at right back and hope things are gonna work out.
You could try.
Watch us, damn it. Connor, you're great.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a higher grade as well, but I like the way that you kind of broke it down. I do think that also, first of all, I want to ask, is it Brenner or is it Brenner?
Whatever you want it to
Hey,
be.
we're gonna have
Okay.
to listen to the first broadcast.
I'll call him Brenner.
This is
Okay.
gonna turn into another Alex Maweel, where everybody called him Mule for 4 years, and he's like, by the way, guys, it's Maweel.
If this podcast
Everybody
starts
like-
worrying about how we pronounce stuff, we're in trouble because we've
That's
butchered
true.
so many names on the show already.
That's fair.
That's facts.
But yeah, I think you make a really good point that the signing of Brenner is definitely like overshadowing all of the other problems that they have. I mean, hopefully they have some plans to bring in new defenders because, I mean, if they do, then I would say it's a good window for them because, like you said, the defenders that they all got rid of have been doing a horrible job for them. So you definitely
Listen,
got to.
whoever they bring in, they want to throw Lucho Costa right back, and they can't do much worse.
Don't say that. Don't say that. They can come out with 0 wins.
Do it, please. I'd love to see that happen. Sorry,
I'll
Jason.
give him a B- for Brenner because
B-
B for Brenner.
So I have this other article up with kind of just transfer roundups from the MLS.com writers. And they say that their biggest hole is creating a presence in the midfield. I don't know who this guy is writing this, and I have nothing against you as a person, my guy. But you also said that for Atlanta. Are we just forgetting that teams need center backs to play, or are we just gonna
No, we
bypass
don't want
that?
that. We want 15 to 14 games every time.
Mhm.
All right. B- for Brenner.